Oh boy. Did you know? I'm full of beans. Hold up. Oh, people are sending me the good stuff. What is that frame anyway? Oh, there it is. Okay. I think might be a quiet day, but you know what? I'm all good for a quiet day. I'm all good for a quiet day. Just something chill, something with a leggy up kind of look, you know. I was just thinking about a leggy out kind of look, you know. All right. It's not a dilly dally too much, because there's not much to dilly dally about today. It's Crim Cram. Inco is having Crim Cram. It's the most wonderful day of the year. Everyone knows Jesus had like the biggest ego, and he was like, "You worship me every single step of the way." Humility, pride is a virtue, not a sin. Now give me the gold bull statue, baby. It's gonna look great in my 5-story tall foyer. Because Jesus needs a big house to fit all that ego. Anyway, it's Crim Cram shopping time. We all know that Jesus wanted you to celebrate by spending money and fueling the economy. Thoughtful gifts, reconciliation, piety. Get out of here, man. I got a coupon. You know what I can get? I think this ran out like Black Friday. Oh, well. No, not much use there. Christmas shopping. Man, I cannot remember the last time we actually did Christmas as a family beyond the basic, hey, I bought you a thing when I was out, and it was kind of around Christmas time, gift passing. This time, though, through the miracle of crippling head trauma, I'm going to get a real Christmas with my real family. And my kind of second family and probably still baby, my friends. What sort of dipped in my thoughts as I worked back through that one. But still... Man, I thought I was the only one who used but still way too much. To see someone else actually use it, I feel slightly validated. Things were better than they were. You mean things are better than they were? Why would you use the same fucking tense? Things are better than they were. By a shocking amount. I look towards the front of my parents' car. There's an apostrophe missing there. Where they're in the front. Jesus, these sentences are a little awkward. Both of them actually looked well rested for the first time I can remember. It's because for the first time they've actually taken a fucking day off, man. Yeah, them actually taking some time off and actually getting to sleep for once in their adult lives probably helped. But still, it was warming to see. We're actually going out together as family to do family things. It's almost freakishly novel to me. But I wasn't about to look a gift horse in the mouth on this one, so we're just going to roll with it. But the sound of things, Mom already had some ideas where she wanted to go when we finally reached the mall. Dad didn't, but said he would wing it. I'll make sure to spot check his purchases so he doesn't buy anything too cringy. Inco, you are the most cringe person in much of Wani. Don't even try. I mean, I guess it takes a cringe to know a cringe. But it's usually the thought that counts anyways. For my part, I had a few general plans, but not too much in terms of concrete ideas. I knew some stores that would have the right vibes, so pretty much make a day out of the trip around the mall and see where things take us. It sounds exhausting. Sounds exhausting, Inco. I scrolled back through my notes based on what Damien... I feel like you could phrase that in a cleaner way. I scrolled back through the notes that were based on what Damien had hashed out for me. It still doesn't work. Ideas for pretty much everyone. He had mentioned that Liz was going to be there too, so I'd be sure to get something. Unfortunately, Damien didn't have too much of a good idea what to get her either. It was lucky though. The girl was going to be happy if he gave her his old socks, let alone something. Man, you were just fucking slam dunking that relationship, huh? Just grabbing it by the neck and just stuffing it in through the hoop. Wow. Wow, Inco. Loosen up, Buttercup. Then there was Olivia. I don't think she's going to attend. Damien had a few ideas. We pretty much agreed there was a low probability she'd participate in the celebrations. It was well, it wasn't fine. But it was also, unfortunately, quite expected. It didn't matter if I just stockpiled the stuff outside of her door for later, as long as she got the stuff that might brighten her spirits. She probably opened them in her room late into the night after everyone else had gone to bed. It's disappointing to think that I would not get to see the smile of hers. But as long as she smiled, that was fine. Man, things ain't fine, buddy. You keep saying the word fine, but I don't think it means what you think it means. I felt an urge to do something for her. Something that felt more meaningful. More intimate wasn't quite the right word. An olive branch of sorts between us, beyond just some material things she might enjoy. The ideas for what that could be were completely blank. I like how you gave Damien shit. You gave Damien fucking shit. And you're like, I don't know what to get my girlfriend. You're both horrible boyfriends. You're both assholes. Sorry to tell you, buddy. Go back to start. Do not collect $200. Everything that popped into my head just felt like an expensive knee-jerk showy purchase, like the old Inco would do. Because it's been like 4 days! You're still old Inco in a lot of ways. Like, maybe immediately, yes, but like your reflexes and your spot tendencies are still very much the old way. If I couldn't make it meaningful, the price didn't matter, and the gift didn't matter. I sighed. I guess I don't know why you would include this. The problem I have with this is that we don't have a lot of physical action, so why would you include the sigh? Unless we're swapping to reality again. I guess in that regard, I'm just like my old man, and I'd have to wing it. Oh, as a Hail Mary... Isn't that supposed to be uppercase? Because, you know, it refers to, you know, Mary. Let's see. Hail Mary. Hail Mary, Why is this so fucking hard to find? But yeah, Mary is a name. Unless it went through that process whereby it's like, no, it's not a name anymore, it's just part of a phrase. Which is so weird that can just happen to you. I appended... Hold on. As a Hail Mary play that I knew wouldn't work, I took a picture of them all on my phone and opened the messaging app. I appended the picture on my chat with Olivia. No, you posted it there. Unchanged. Wait, what? Yeah, I guess it's appending to like the list of chats, but unchanged since I last sent my message and typed out a message. For fuck's sake, use more commas. I appended the picture to my chat with Olivia, which was unchanged since my last message. Or use dashes, because it's an intermission, and typed out a message. Doing some last-minute shopping. Let me know if there's something you wanted for Christmas. And sent. She probably wouldn't say anything back. I wasn't sure if she would read it now that making sure I wasn't dead was crossed off the list. But I wanted to try and normalize us communicating again. Even if it was only fairly mundane things. A minute later, and the message was marked as read, with no indication of a reply coming through. With no indication that a reply was incoming, though. My brain was like, I have a sentence. It's like, no, it's not the sentence. We're not here to give creative writing advice on that level, buddy. Fair enough. Guess gifting the gator girl will be entirely up to me. If you're just stealing the gift from E4 with the fucking tail thing, fuck off. 1, that's cheap and lazy. And 2, this is not E4 Inco yet. You're not there yet, buddy. It's been 4 days. He doesn't get that power. He doesn't deserve good boyfriend energies quite yet. I knew what the gift wouldn't be. That'd have to be a good enough start for now. Failing that, nothing was better than something shallow. After everything you've done, probably. I don't even know. You pulled into the parking lot of the shopping mall and I instinctively groaned because the place was absolutely packed. Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. We had chosen death. That's an Anon statement, not an Inco statement. The problem is like, Inco avoids words like these, right? He's a bit more casual, pessimistic. This is Anon snark. And Inco is not a snarky man. He doesn't snark. Like that, at least. Not that I remember. I need to replay the game. And it's kind of the reason a lot of my writing is stagnated. Because I need to replay both games to remind myself. It took several minutes before Dad was able to find us a parking spot way at the edge of the lot. I almost had to squint to see the buildings. Partially because they were a good walk away, and partially because the snow was cutting visibility by a fair bit. Buddy, this is just American architecture hitting you in the dick. You know, parking lots that are just fucking nuts. Partially because I was just being a bit dramatic. Still, it was a good walk before we finally hit the doors. My new big poofy coat Dad picked up for me yesterday when he was out along with other supplies was keeping me. Jesus Christ, there's a second comma. It reads so clumsily, right? It's like a big sentence, but there's like a little sentence inside. It wasn't a particular designer model, but man, it kept the snow and the cold off of me. I think Dad went out of his way to pick something up that looked warm, which made sense. Which made sense since I'd just been in the hospital. But it's not a fever! Unfortunately, I'd also recently been in the hospital. It was almost at full power. I like how fast you bounce back from brain injury. It's just hilarious. It's just an outcome of how the plot's supposed to be structured, but come on, man. You can skip past Christmas. I make that the tragedy. It's like, oh no, I missed Christmas with the pains. Oh no. But no. We are a good Christian writer, and Christmas is the time that everything fixes itself magically. Like a Hallmark movie, but lamer somehow. I'm not saying the author does that. I don't know if that's the plan. I'm just being facetious. I was almost back up to full power now, but my stamina was still lower than it had been before the formal. We managed to hit the doors, and I took a seat in a nearby bench to let my aching legs rest. Are you okay, sweetie? I nodded as best I could. Supposedly I had to wear this collar for another couple of weeks, but man, was I sick of it already. The good news was the scarf Mom had covered... What? The good news is the scarf Mom gave me had covered it up for the most part, so I wouldn't at least draw that much attention. Dad wandered into one of the nearby kiosks and tossed a few bucks for a soda to a... Why are you even specifying manning it? Just say dinosaur, man. Just take the shortcut. Be a lazy bastard. I pounded back the finishy drink and the burning sensation. Jesus Christ, why are you writing like this? Just put a fucking comma before the end, right? Because technically speaking, right? This is not an end. This is a whole separate sentence you're just gluing in there. And that's fine, but like, fuck if it's not weird on the first read every time. I pounded back the fizzy drink. The burning sensation in my throat, along with the boost of sugar, helps beat my reachers. Just write the straight sentence, okay? Listen, I love writing stupid, goofy sentences that are a little beaten around the bush. But you gotta write some straightforward sentences if you're gonna get fancy with it like this. Come on. Also, a lot of this is just my problem, because in case you don't know, if you're trying to read stuff with your mouth words, this funny thing happens where like it's different than actually just reading it. So some of it is just reading. It's probably easier than, you know, doing a live script read. Mom and Dad continued to win back a slow, steady tick of points. Why not trickle? Trickles is such a good word for this. It was weird. We're just suddenly here, almost like I'm in a shitty Christmas Hallmark movie. Inco, you should run. Because everyone knows that the only people who make those movies are doing it to get to the Eldritch part. They're going to turn into monsters. And they could actually act like parents. Wow, what a shock. Wow, why are you so mean? It's almost like all they needed... It's like that's all they needed to do in the first place. I mean, I think you're an adult, and like all the actual stuff they had to do is like completely off the books for now. I stamped down that flash of bitterness. Oh, he was being sarcastic. Man... I don't know, though. How would old Inco respond to this? That's such a great fucking question. The sensation may be correct, but we're working on it. They were putting in their part, albeit late, of trying to be present parents. So I wasn't just going to sit there and constantly fester about it. Uncle Fester? Not while we were out and trying to do something together. I let out another sigh and stood, tossing the bottle in the trash. Definitely had some residual issues of my own to work out. These flashes of anger were clearly not good for anyone, least of all myself. Hey, giving a character anger management issues as a result of brain damage is a hell of a lot more impressive than just going with a speech impediment that you are skipping over near constantly when you really get down to it. Like, we had a couple of good moments, but I guess most of what it's done is it's forced him to slow down. But I think that giving him an anger management issue would let you get the same concept, right? Now it's like, oh no, I can't trust my gut instinct, and I have to be constantly cognizant of that. That sucks ass, you know? Now you got that to deal with. You literally... Shit. I forgot to hit record because I'm very stupid. Hello, people who are watching the recording. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. Inco is giving Damien's relationship sass, and then he's like, I don't know what to get my own girlfriend. But the real part is they're just going to a mall. Not a lot has happened. It's been a lot of words and a lot of stuff we already know. I don't know, man. How about we get to the fucking meat of this dish? Enough potatoes, okay? These flashbangs were clearly not good for anyone, let alone myself. Maybe I'll bring them up when I get a chance to talk to Mr. Ferris. Capitalize on that counseling stuff he'd mentioned. For all I knew, it was some residual stuff that sparked off of Mr. Yadakon's death. Not like I was a therapist. I flashed my parents a thumbs up, and we took off into the mall proper. Randy, the girl master saint of the pains, was the first target. I wanted to pick him up some seasonings for the next cookout, but Mom and Dad made a mention of various grill accessories as well, so I let them tackle that angle. I'd also pass along that Damien suggested books from Randy's favorite novel series, which, interestingly, Dad also liked. He called dibs on that one and knew just where to look. How would he? Isn't he constantly working? How does he have time for a series of novels? I just got the impression that, like, they just worked and fell asleep. And that's it. That's all your parents did, Inco. They existed exactly as long as their workday. And no more. Probably for the best. I only have a vague recollection of the books he was reading while he was staying with me. We had a few specialty stores, and I was able to tackle the grill-related stuff pretty quickly. I wasn't positive if the spices were actually as good as the one I used at the cookout, but the overweight raptor work in the section highly recommended them, so we went with it. Vinny was, thankfully, a very easy pick. We had a toy store, and I happened to find a whole section for the Power Raptors. I thought to grab the first action figure I saw, but I held off. I wasn't sure which one he did or didn't already have, so I skimmed a bit longer and hit the pay dirt. Wait a minute. Who the hell is this guy? Hold the phone. Hold on, is the music not? I noticed this last time, and it's something that I'm gonna fix right now. Is that? Oh no! Oh, that's just annoying. Can I boost audio in any way? Because like a big problem that I've always had with a lot of sound is it gain? Is it gain? Is it called gain when you make it louder? Because I've always had an issue. This has been a problem with Bandicam that like just stuff I hear is really crystal clear to me. So if I just yeah, okay, that's what gain does, I think. Let's give it a couple of decibels. Just two. 1. Like I don't know, man. We'll settle with this for now. Moving on. I wasn't sure which one he didn't already have, so I skimmed a little longer and hit the pay dirt. This. Although this sounds like a very specific thing. Probably should have asked Damien, buddy. A toy dart gun set styled after one of those blaster weapons of one of the Raptors. I remembered at the cookout when me, Olivia, Damien, and Vinny used the dart guns to engage in an impromptu backyard war. With Liz getting the brunt. I, for some reason, love to imagine the idea of Liz's neck just being this massive clump in the sky, you know. Just this lump of wrapped around itself neck. Like you often see boss characters do. So, you know, you're in your giant target list, sorry to tell you. Slap on the back and all that. A smile pulled in my face at the memory. I don't know, the problem I have with a lot of what this guy does is he... Like, switch up your words for this, right? Like, you can say at his face from the memory. It works a bit better. Because the problem is that when I say that, when I try to vocalize it, or just think about it, using repetition creates meter. It creates a rhythm, right? A smile pulled at my face, at the memory. That's what you get. A toy Duncart set styled after one of the blasters of one of the Raptors. It creates an implicit poetic meter by if you do that too much. Then you can do it once or twice if you really don't have an option. But avoid it as much as possible. It just looks slicker. And also semantic satiation is your worst enemy. Put up your fists and punch that guy down into the ground and Or just avoid him. Just don't go into the back alley. I know, okay? It's a very fun thing to smile. But that guy is gonna... He's got words to say. And there's only a couple of words that are immune to it. Usually words that are used a lot. Like, no one fucking semantically satiates on but or the or I or a. Those words are immune. They're exempt. They're given the special... the platinum pass, you know? Liz may give me the stink-eyeing Christmas, but I think Vinny would like this. Doesn't he already have a dart? I mean, I guess the implication is that it's a more generic dart gun. Nerf! It's Nerf or nothing. I personally... Not a lot of TV watching happening around here, but man, those Nerf ads just... Why? Mom and Dad took my cue on the matter and got the attachments and a massive pack of supplemental darts. Perfect. Vinny will be able to terrorize his family for days with all this. I mean, do you want to make up? Or do you want everyone to consider you a war criminal for selling weapons to children? I mean, I guess you're not really selling them. You're more like arming the local militia. People don't take kindly to that, Inco. Damien was likewise pretty simple. A long list of video games on his to-get list, so the three of us just picked 3 games from the list and grabbed anything that looked or sounded good. Oh my god! Inco is the grandmother who got him! I got you the Power Rangers! Inco... This isn't Pokemon, this is Digimon!
Oh, but they all end in man, silly Damien. They all end in man.
That was enough. There was enough games. And listen, man, as someone who knows what Steam libraries can turn into, no, he'll forget about it in 2 days, and he'll go back to playing Warhammer 40k. Because that's his staple, you know. He'll play Rock Ring. I don't like how many people, like... listen, it's fine if Anon keeps hammering on about Rock Ring. It is not okay if we suddenly have fucking Reed play Rock Ring religion. Actually, no, doesn't Reed show up at his house? Or am I mixing that with another fic? I don't know. I might be getting confused. I don't... But when would they? I feel like this is canon, but I might be jumbled up because it was a mod. That was enough games to keep him occupied for the next year. Maybe. None of us recognize the franchises offhand, but Damien gave me the list himself. I trusted he knew what he wanted. I mean, considering how long that list is, that's $180, man, or $210. Or fuck, if Rockstar gets away with like 80, 90, $100, that's so much money, man. That's like weeks of groceries you just threw at like video games. Oh man, just get him a Switch. I don't know. I trusted he knew what he wanted. That left Liz, Sophia, and Olivia. Oh yeah. Why am I surprised? I like her not buying anything for your parents. I guess their gift is that they're giving a shit. We had a bookstore next. I didn't have a good idea for Liz, and even less on offer for my parents to work with. We figured we'd just see what was in there. Damien had recommended a book series that Sophia talked about, but he wasn't really sure what volumes he had. That's always a risk. We resolved to just get the first 3 a volume from each of us. Thankfully, that was all in stock. So another easy one to mark off for everyone involved. So, here's something someone told me once, right? Let me just... And I don't get this, okay? So I know someone, and he told me, once for Christmas, I got, you know, sometimes I get like a volume from a book series I like, you know. But he told me, you know, I think it'd be weird if someone gifted me the entire series, right? I sit there, and someone just throws the entire Harry Potter line at me. For some reason, he said, it feels facetious, it feels flippant, it feels... And I don't know why, I don't get it. And I've been thinking about that a lot, like... What does it mean? Why is it that one book is this cute, thoughtful gift, but if you give him everything, it's like you stole something, maybe? Like you stole the opportunity to collect the rest? Like, it's done now? Why bother reading? I don't know. But that stuck with me. Admittedly, never mind. As I wandered the shelves to find anything that spoke Liz to me, I let my mind wander. What did Liz even like? She was smart, coordinated, knew what she wanted to a supernatural degree. Up front, and maybe honest to a fault. I would like to point out, listen, you know what, I'm gonna wait a little on this, but I have opinions about this chapter, and how much of it is just fucking shopping. No, listen, the problem I have with this, right? Characters, plot, theme, okay? Put those three in your head. That's the three main reasons you read something. And we're gonna get back to that, because you might notice that not a lot of shit is happening in any of those departments. I guess at most we get, like, some explanation on what these characters like, but fuck if it's not verbose about it. When you really drill down into the crusty, rocky oil. This would work so much better if Damien was just fucking there to bounce off of. It really feels like one of those situations where someone said the scene does not work as it is. You should probably switch it up a little in some way. Like, do it with Liz. Wouldn't Liz make a perfect, like, going to buy gifts partner? Because it's like, you know, she knows the pains a bit better. She knows Damien. She could, inform on her own gift choices, because she seems like the kind of person who might want to have that input. I know there's something cute about that. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's just like, listen, Inco, I just want you to buy something that you feel suits me. Like, sure, I could tell you what... I don't know. Missing opportunities. Like, this guy already wasted the chance of having the notepad, this physical representation of Inco's disability around. I don't know, man. It's like... Again, I feel that one of the steps to becoming a good writer is realizing you're fucking up and leaving good opportunities on the floor. There it is! Pick that grape off the ground! She was smart, coordinated, knew what she wanted to an almost supernatural degree. That's... Why would that be supernatural? It's just called being a Buddhist monk, my man. Those guys are very normal, even though they can do some pretty funky stuff. Up front and maybe honest to a fault. Is she, though? She's restrained, I guess. But she doesn't... I remember my lunch day with her and Olivia, and remember how I wished that had gone better. And she had talked about some of her business plans. She was going to be an art dealer, taking artist paintings and then market and sell them to buyers of interest. Apparently, Mr. Ferris was happy to utilize his connections as a boost for the new business as soon as she was done with school. She's just gonna open a business at age 18? Who the fuck is paying for that, Liz? You're not getting a fucking loan for that at age 19 without a business degree or anything. Like, the person giving you that loan is expecting you to fuck up. In less than 6 months, Liz will be taking her business off the ground, and Jesus! Man, how ready is she? In less than 6 months, Liz will be taking her business off the ground, and she'd probably be some terrifying art magnate. It would suit her, though. She deserved it. She's out of high school, man! This is a connection-heavy business. Like, who is she talking to that she has an extensive enough connection? If she does, then yes, she does deserve it, because holy, that's impressive in this day and age. I found myself in books about art. I mean, she does draw. She was in the art context test, remember? Like, she does digital drawing. I found myself in books about art. My legs clearly following where my mind wandered. Skimmed the books as I strolled. Maybe I should get a book on businesses and startups. I shake my head at the notion. Liz would have probably already have read all of those. All of the ones I was likely to find her anyway. She said it herself that while she liked art, she was definitely focusing more on the business side. And see, that's what I mean. Here's the thing that I think is kind of interesting when you really think about it, right? Olivia apparently draws digitally. She does post. Olivia almost definitely draws traditionally in several styles, because it's implied that she uses ink with her claw. She does conventional painting. She seems to have interest in different kinds of painting. Like, Olivia is a very broad artist when you get right down to it. Compared to, Liz, who, I mean, to be honest, digital artist I may be, I have in fact used pen and paper and, pencil and paper. It's just fun. Mixing up media, it's such a different experience to draw with a pencil or a pen compared to a plastic-ass tablet. It's just something, man. A history of art and its dealers. I mean, not a bad idea, actually. I'll give him points. I'm nearly at the end of the row when I spotted a book on the end cap. A history of art and its dealers. There's a picture of a marble bust of probably some famous dino under that I recognize. Why can't it be a human? But that subject matter was perfect. I flipped it over, and sure enough, the description felt right. The investigative history into the world of art dealers. Passion, greed, artistic fervor. Different methods for how they valued art and more. Is it also going to talk about modern art being used to house large amounts of rich people money to launder it for tax purposes? I hope that part's in there too, buddy. I mean, in a way, it's always been about that. No, in Yonder yesterday, it was about people having giant fucking egos and like, I can't take a picture, draw my face, so my children can know who got them their big fucking payday. And hang me over the fireplace, where I'm most likely to catch fire. There was a non-zero chance she already had this, but it felt like a good gift choice. Even if she had a copy, it would show an earnest effort to give us something of meaning. And that was the point. I grabbed the book and navigated back to the house to find my parents. Mom had found the book series Sophia had been interested in, and Dad nabbed his own gift for Randy. Didn't you already get him like a couple of gifts, seasoning, and some accessories? Don't go too heavy, buddy. Man, that's a lot of emoji. That's a lot of emoji, buddy. We found our way to the front and handily paid for the Book of Palooza. It's like, what, 4 books? Come on, man. I like that he called... I mean, to be honest, I feel this is worth pointing out, but characters over-exaggerating things that are perfectly mundane because they're fucking stupid is great. I love that, okay? I love it. I love it when a character goes into a store and like, gets a normal amount of groceries and like, how the fuck are you paying for this? It's like, this is like, what, 50 bucks? For a week? What are you talking about? It's like, man, I can't afford that. I get like $10, like a giant bag of dried ramen. And I consider that a luxury. I carried the bag as we rounded the exit of the outlet. Back into the mall proper, when I ran face first into the extended snout of a brachiosaurus that was entering head first. You think he would notice you more if he's going head first? I stumbled backwards, landing on my butt! Uncle Phil, we gotta kick this man's butt! My parents were quick to rush to me and make sure I didn't break my neck for a 3rd time. Because, remember, he slammed into the door with his face. This poor man, this poor fucking man, can just not avoid getting injured. Or tired.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry!
The dinosaur apologized. I lifted myself... Oh shit, it's Liz. How would you not immediately recognize her? Her palette is extremely specific. Hold the phone. When I say hold the phone, do note that at times I will throw the phone at you. Full force with a swing of my arm. There will be no apologies, just banana slammer, as they say. Is there a Liz full? I don't think there's a good Liz, like, full body. Full body. No, I don't think there's a good full body for Liz. I think I could find one on the website, though. 20. No, not gonna work either. Yeah, but like Liz is a pretty specific palette. In case you don't know, I don't know what color exactly her hair is. Like if it's you know, pink or purple or just red, but it's pretty vibrant together with the green and yellows that make up her body. You know, I don't know, man. She could do a better job color coordinating a gosh dang skirt, though. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I lifted myself up and collected the bag before squaring myself out so I could apologize for not paying attention. That plan derailed as I stooped for the bag when I heard her call my name. Inco? Oh, hell, it was Liz. Why is that a bad thing? Also, that's still uppercase because that's still the first letter of a name. I looked up, and sure enough, it was the teal-scaled, red-headed head floating above me as her body caught up to the store proper. I returned the greeting. My slurred speech. It's been 4 days! Honestly, this is like the second fucking fic I'm reading where it's like, it's been 2 days, okay? Things don't move that fast. Breathe! Stop running marathons in 2 minutes, please. Again, I think Wani and Snoot Game, they let things shit breathe. Now, Goodbye Volcano High, ironically, is like the complete opposite. It takes place over the course of a year, and you don't get any sense that a year has passed. In, like, the worst possible way. Like, man, that story has some issues actually communicating timelines. Man, someone's complaining that Fortnite doesn't have enough lady furry skins. You know what? Pat pat for you, buddy. Pat pat for you. The 4 new ones, the Tanuki Nyanja from Battle Pass, Snoop Dogg, Messi the Raccoon, Christmas Bird, Doberman, Meowdas, Phantom Guff, Andy Fangerson, 3 Birds, Meowtooth, Lizik, Safety First, Steven Cerberus. It's a list of male furry skins since the last feminine, not even considered female furry skin, from March 2024. Poor guy. Poor lesbian, as they say. She took clear stock of me now, face regressing. Regressing from the initial stride. It's a really odd verb to use. Like, you know what? I love using verbs, a little fancy boy. I love swinging it around town, but that ain't gonna work. To a neutral smile. I mean, you could regress to the neutral smile, but regressing from initial shock, a bit less so. To a subtle disappointment. Yeah, fair enough, Liz. I didn't expect to run into you out here. I heard you were awake, but I didn't know you were going out. Damn it, Damien! I know I'm not actually important to Liz, but could you keep your girlfriend up on current events? Honestly, I gotta. This fic has made the Liz-Damien relationship look really bad. When I originally thought this, like, you know, Liz is the brains and Damien is the heart. But now he's not even that. Now he's just a gormless man. He's without gorm, in all senses. As I pulled my phone out, Liz shot me a confused look. You know our son? Liz was shaken from her examination of what I was doing and brought back to the 2 adult humans in front of her. Holy shit, it's a human in the story. Oh man. Sorry, after Sally, I just didn't know there were humans around. Oh, you're Inco's parents. Of course, I'm sorry. I'm a friend of his from school, she answered, putting on a companionable smile. What a word. I do love learning new words. Friendly and sociable. Nice. Well, she didn't immediately throw me in the garbage, so I'll take it. Again, I have my phone out and stylus at the ready now. Sorry, took a sec. How you been, Liz? Inco Noted. I should get out an air horn and just go bah, 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 every time he uses that verb. Nothing else deserves it. She read the message and looked back at me, smile faltering. I could see the confused wheels turning in her head before she settled on the likeliest explanation. And there it is. Her eyes went wide and her mouth opened slightly. Damien didn't tell her that little tidbit either? Man, I'm gonna team up with her and tell you a new one later. Oh god, I'm sorry. I didn't... Damien didn't say... But to her credit, she clearly was upset about the news on that. Hang on. I noted to her. I turned to my parents and jotted down an explanation. It was Liz, Damien's girlfriend. She hasn't seen me since the formal. They nodded, taking the information in, and then I extended an offer to Liz, turning the phone screen back to her. Want to find a place to sit down for a minute? Alright, I think we can turn on a brand new song. Because this one has been on for a while. Hold on, there's gotta be a Liz theme in here somewhere. Please, I would request that you imagine me vividly grabbing at all the... Oh, there's a mall theme? I can't find a Liz theme. I mean, admittedly, we never really get a Liz moment. We get Damien moments and Olivia moments aplenty. Whatever. Instagram! This is not gonna fly, Dave. Scary Dave. Well, here we are. Shit, what the fuck? Oh, I accidentally opened the search function. Well, here we are. Me, my parents, and Liz just sitting... Oh, hold on. I need to take care of some Me, my parents, and Liz just sitting at the table of the food court of a mall packed with last-minute Christmas shoppers. How did you get anything? Not that I expected this to go, really. But I couldn't tell if this was better or worse than whatever plan I had to try and talk to Liz on Christmas. Probably better. If she blew up at me for what I did to Damien and the Pains, at least it would be in front of my parents. Thankfully for my hands, my parents were taking point of the small talk and getting Liz caught up on what she'd more or less been left out on. Well, Mom was. Dad was just awkwardly picking up his leftover fries. Same, Dad. Same. Well, that's terrible, Liz said, after Mom finished her recap. How would a long neck affect your voice? Oh, it's fine. Certainly brought it down on myself. I noted on my phone. There are other words for describing someone writing something down. And a jackass like Inco would certainly know all of them. Damien said you and him had fought, but I'll admit I was too angry at Uncle Mike for hurting Damien to really pay attention, Liz said, her expression darkening. Sorry, buddy. I'm changing the lamps around the mall. Oh. Huh. But what? What? Mom had a slightly confused expression on her face. That was one of the spots I'd intentionally left the details fuzzy for them. Your uncle hurt Damien? But he's such a nice boy. Mom was aghast. Oh, well, yes, it was one. Liz started to explain, but her eyes drifted over to me, and my expression stopped her dead in her tracks like a dropkick. Do not now. Liz, being the bride girl that she was, picked up where the cards were on the table right now and pivoted smoothly. Oh, it was during the formal and an accident with everything that had been going on. It was an accident. Uncle Mike should have done better, she concluded with a huff. Oh, that's just terrible. Family shouldn't fight. Liz looked at my mom, then to Dad, then back to me. I agree, yes. I noticed a flash in her eyes as she looked at me. I couldn't tell what the meaning was, but I got the general intent. All right, Liz, might as well do this. I scratched out a note on my phone and showed it to Dad. He read it, looked to Mom, who was trying to kickstart the small talk storm with Liz again, and then shifted his gz to Liz. Also, I think small talk's 2 words, right? Yeah, it's not a compound. Gz. Surely whatever text program you use picked that one up right. It was staring at me. After a moment, he returned his focus to me and simply nodded. Thanks, Dad. And we still gotta get stuff for Inco, he said, standing up. How about we pair off and he can catch up with Liz here? Well, we go and do that. Wouldn't want to ruin any surprises, right? Oh, yes, wouldn't that actually be smart? Yes, actually, that would be smart. I'm sorry, Liz, but we probably should do that. How about we meet up back here in an hour? Liz nodded, her head bobbing on the end of her long neck. I mean, I imagine her muscles are pretty strong to keep that whole thing stable. Or it just undulates a lot. Of course, Mr. Nito, I'll make sure Inco is here right on time. She affirmed the plan with a smile. Wouldn't she go with a smirk, considering who she is as a person? And actually, would Liz smirk? I feel like she's smart enough not to smirk. Like, it would just look like a smile. Dad gave me a parting pat on the shoulder, and I watched him break off and move into the crowd. As they left, their hands were clasped together as they walked. Why are you doing that twice? Why? Buddy, I got a very specific complaint. As they left, as they walked. You don't need both. You don't need both. Both is also kind of fucking awkward. You don't need both. They are leaving. As they walked. Are they on a fucking motorcycle? Are they taking a bike? Are they on the elevator? Because otherwise, they're just walking. You don't have to specify that. If anything, again, because you're using this extremely specific sentence structure that implies it's annoying. Just don't do it. I mean, admittedly, this guy didn't pick up on gz, which you should pick up on a second read, because like your spell checker would say, buddy, and put a little line under it. If he didn't, he might have written it in a notepad, actually. If you write it in a notepad, then I can understand. If you write it in a notepad, that would explain why some people have the double lines. Fucking get Google Docs or Open Office or something, man. Or LibreOffice or whatever the current hit stage is. Or get a fancier text editor the Notepad++. In fact, I'm pretty sure in Notepad++ you can set it up that it just does double lines. I don't know. I'm complaining about nitpicks. I would do that on a new line, because it is supposed to be him stopping. What felt like an old memory popped into my head. Your folks together. They love each other. Oh, wait.
Your folks together? They love each other too, yeah?
It was the groom, Mr. Yadakon's friend. Back at the wedding when he tried to give me advice about Olivia. Such a weird, recurring character to use. At the time, I honestly didn't know my parents well enough to really answer him. They never really showed any obvious displays of affection in the scant times they were around me. Mostly because the times they were around me, they were exhausted or asleep. I don't know, man. That's the same thing for these guys. Olivia told me that they would only work that hard if they really cared about me, and I agree with her then. And I agree with her even more now, having been able to spend some time around them. They aren't good parents, but they care about me. They had you right out of fucking... Like, between your parents having you out of high school and immediately getting a good, successful architecture business off the ground, and Liz apparently starting a fucking business out of high school, apparently in this world, the world is your fucking oyster. The American dream is alive here. Which is impressive as all fucking hell, given that it's very much dead in the real world. At least in the way that is culturally significant for the propaganda piece, puff piece that it is. What the hell's going on? Oh, Combo, you're here. Sorry. Sorry. I got so distracted that I forgot to say hello, Mo. I fucked up. I fucked up so bad. I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball, and the ball won. And this song is really nice. I hope this gets really dramatic and Inco gets to cry. I'll be so happy if Inco gets to cry. Again, actually, I just remembered he cried a lot already. Instagram would be nice if it was... Instagram always yells at me to get an account, and I'm like, I'm not getting a fucking account. Like, I know in Russia it's like just completely barred the frick off, but I'm not getting an account. It's like, okay, then you won't get to see the pictures. You want video controls? Sorry, you have to make an account. Bye-bye. Screw you. And seeing Mom giggling at something Dad said is a lot... Liz is like, Inco, for fuck's sake, I'm still here. Because remember, Inco, Anon talks to himself, but he never really seems to drift off in a way that causes people to really point that out. It's just mumbling. Inco seems to actually just take forever to... Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing it. Even with all the difficulty in their lives, which admittedly was almost entirely self-inflicted, they loved me. And I love how fast you've turned around. Your parents were the shittest people like a week ago, and now they're the best parents ever. Even when they were tired, frustrated, or angry, they didn't stop caring. I wasn't sure what this realization or feeling was, but I could tell it was important. Maybe I'll ask Randy about it, or maybe I'll just ask them. Inco? Lings brought me out of my fugue and back to the overly packed shopping mall. Are you okay? Yeah, just thinking. Inco noted. Wink! I'm going to do that every time, and the reason I'm doing it is because I'm being a sassy little bastard. It is not necessarily a complaint, because noted for Inco is basically like said for another character. I just think it's word choice problems, right? It's like you're title dropping the whole damn time. Going off of what Damien said, you've been doing that a lot, she replied with a soft smile. Made of cotton candy. Better late than never. Come on. Wink, Inco noted. Back. We took off into the mall, going the opposite way from my parents. I would take a periodic glance at Liz, whose head was casually bobbing around, looking at stores, or even popping into stores as we walked past like a drive-by window shopper. For whatever level of inconvenience that neck must cause her, it clearly has its moments, too. I mean, you were at the arcade, where it was a thing. She wasn't pushing the issue, but only an idiot couldn't tell she wanted to talk. Clearly new Inco must be different, because I'd bet money old Inco wouldn't. I hope to God the writer is aware enough to know that this is exactly how people who are about to fuck up think, right? Like, I understand you want Inco to grow, but you want to know what's part of growing as a person and realizing you're an asshole? Is realizing that you're still an asshole, right? You don't magically heel turn. You're still a giant douche, and a lot of your habits and your instincts and all that is still asshole. You aren't done yet. You don't fix this in 4 days, and you thinking you have is part of the problem. But that would imply this is a well-written story that had like years to ferment, and I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Look, I'm not even going to criticize that, because that is like, you know, you give your concept a bit more thought and really consider the angles that a character goes through as they go along. Because like I said, there's a guy I know who said like Inco really feels like how some people he knows just rotted on the inside. Liz wasn't exactly the type to yell or get emotional. Or get particularly emotional. The only time I actually saw her lash out was that snipe she made at Olivia during the lunch date we had. Even then her voice was barely above speaking volume. So if she had choice words to say, I don't think we need to worry about making a scene. Any old place that was quieter than the rest would probably suffice. My eyes caught a little stuff store. Eternal memories? Huh. I waved to get Liz's attention and navigated over to it. Sure enough, there was a sleepy-looking ankylosaurus behind the counter, and one old triceratops looking at a case of watches. The store was otherwise deserted. That'll work. I pointed my thumb inside, and she followed without a word. You're the one who can't speak, buddy. Telegram would be nice if it was... Oh no, why did I go telegram? Because I expect there to be new comments. We navigated back, and I started to get an idea what the store was about. Little knickknacks and odd items you could get engraved with messages. Watches, bangles, and necklaces, and more that they would custom inscribe with a message that was hard to wear away. Examples include, love is eternal, or, and I will always remember you. Doesn't fit in terms of pentameter. Or wedding dates and the like were plastered on the wall by the front counter. The messages, which were happy in any other context, made my throat tighten slightly. If I hadn't screwed things up so badly with Olivia, maybe I'd be getting us something like that. But now, I'm pretty much resolved to settle for, I don't actively hate you. I sighed again. Man, you're sighing a lot after thinking. You must look very strange on the outside, just depressed as all hell. It's like you're constantly thinking and just kind of idling and then... or wistful, I guess. Liz took note but didn't say anything. Yeah, that seems to be her major character flaw right now. We worked our way into the back of the store, with some memorabilia racks blocking line of sight from the counter. Well, mostly. Liz's head predictably extended up to nearly to the ceiling before swinging back down the eye level. So... Let out a sigh, a little long breath through my nose, gave her a gentle nod. Gave her what nod I could, phone through. You should probably take off the scarf enough that she knows that your neck's in a brace, buddy. It feels important. What neck brace do you get a Brontosaurus? What neck brace do you get her? Is it big? Does it use wiring? I don't even know. To start, I apologize. I ruined the winter formal. I ruined what could have been a special night for you and Damien. I screwed up things for your boyfriend's family. Made you have to be angry at your uncle. She read my message, her face neutral. Is it a damned good poker face? Took mental note to never try to play card games. I think she'd be bad at them for different reasons, though. I've spent my time since I woke up thinking and coming to terms with what I was and what I did. But I'm a terrible person. But I'm trying to make things right. I've worked out things as best as I can with Randy and Damien. But I want to make it right for everyone. Vinny, Sophia, you, Olivia, and Mr. Fair. Why is this such a weird complication? Why not make it... I guess he's writing it down, so it could be whatever. You might also notice this is the order of operations he's been doing things in. She considered for a moment, adopting the trademark expressions of her eyes rolling up to the right. Because that's what she does in the video game. Her chin tilted away. I wasn't sure if it was something she forced herself to sell, the deep in thought thing, or she didn't realize she was doing it at all, but it was oddly endearing. Why? Because all of you deserve better than having to deal with the mess I'm in. And it's my mess. I need to clean it up. Not any of you. Good time to use bold and italics. Or asterisks if you want to avoid using formatting markup. For only a moment, her eyebrow arched before settling back to a neutral place. Inco, stop fucking writing the Renpai instructions, okay? You are not a visual novel engine. You are a person in the visual novel. I don't think she actually expected me to so bluntly own up to what I had done before. Well, I'm surprised. I didn't expect you to really take ownership of it all, Miss hummed. Liz, let's be real. I was a shit person, and I probably still am. Oh, hey, he's admitting that thing I said was kind of important. But I realize I can't bring everyone down to my level. I'll tell you what I told Damien. As always, Damien's mention caught her attention. Ugh, I tripped over that. When all this is over, if everyone's happy, but you all hate me, I'm fine with that. Surprising, that soured her expression. Do you think any of us want to hate you? That question seized my brain entirely. Well, no. I don't think anyone in this situation wants to hate me. I never really thought about it because being hated was what I deserved. I did so many awful things in such an unrepentant and hideous way that I had earned that hatred. But I don't think anyone wanted to have to do that either. I worked through that for a moment before returning to my phone. No. Well, I'll admit I was angry at Uncle Mike for hurting Damien. Damien tried to explain what all had happened that night, but I wasn't having it. It was only after we left the hospital and got home that we sat down and talked. I indicated for her to continue. Spinning his wrist. You know the gesture. He looked so tired of everything. But he told me, again, everything he saw that night. Confronting you taking those pictures, him hitting you and then destroying your camera. He told me how mad he was when you were hurt. He was so angry at you that he was mad that you were maybe dead. Damien said that out of everyone. He was so angry at you that he was mad you were maybe whatever. He's mad at himself for I don't know. It's not a good day, okay? I remember him quietly crying yesterday when he told me. I had to swallow the lump in my throat before turning my focus to Liz. And when I thought through everything, I got mad at you too. I think you already figured that out. That was the case, she said, her head lifting to gaze out into the store. I nodded. I'm not sure we're really friends, Inco. I'm not entirely sure if we ever were. We talked at lunch. That was fun. And we did that thing at the arcade. But if I'm being honest, that was just as much an excuse to spend time with Damien as it was getting Olivia there. That one got a chuckle out of me. I remember noticing it myself fairly quickly during our trip. You weren't really trying to hide it. Wink! Inco Noted. No, I guess I wasn't, she blushed after reading. Though you and Olivia weren't really trying to hide your feelings either. I don't really have a counter to that. What is it, a counter? I don't really realized that at the time, of course, but I had feelings for Olivia, and she definitely did for me. But even after that, when I invited you two to that fancy lunch date, it was meant as a double date, so you could have a fancy meal with Damien, I finished for her. Hey, exactly, yes. You and I just never really talked or did anything together before. You were a friend of my boyfriend and a boyfriend of his sister. She sniffed and laughed wetly. Oh man, now that's what I like to see in my writing, is a brand new combination. To laugh wetly. I'm not saying it's bad. I love it. Because she's sniffling, she's kind of teared up and she's trying to laugh and Ooh. See, here's the thing, right? The contrast of laughing with a weird adverb like wetly. Mwah! That's how you evoke something. That's why brevity is the soul of wit. Is you just slap someone's brain right on the vocabulary. She drooped her head back down and pulled some tissues out of her bag and dabbed at her eyes. Sorry, Inco, you can't say dabbed in this day and age. I know what she's doing. Whoopsh! Did I just dab? You'll never know. What a weird friend group we were. I nodded again. I lashed out at Olivia at lunch. It was stupid of me. I know she was struggling, and I could see you were trying to defuse the situation, but you said it yourself. No one can do that quite like Damien can. Oh, at the lunch. Yeah, it was all I could offer at the moment. Actually, let's put on a different soundtrack because we're getting a bit tense. We're getting a little intense around here. Fuck off! Oh. Upbeat theme? Man, like I said, every one of the soundtrack in this is... Muddy wheelchair? Oh, that's the fucking rain. Ugh. I hate school, it makes me sad! I mean, this kind of fits considering how bad their relationship is on the rocks right now. If there was one. Actually, this reminds me that... So, I've been writing Ophinia the exchange student. And that's part of the reason why I need to replay the game, is that a lot of the events are going to stay the same. This reminded me, how the fuck do I get her in that arcade scene? Like, I have an idea, but I can't see Liz. Like, Liz is the one who has to make that move, right? Unless you use Damien the motherfucking crowbar for it. You're kind of shoehorned into, why would she do this to herself when she's already quite negative on the whole situation? That's what I like to call a big think. I think if that was where you two just started becoming people associated to my boyfriend for me. Which is awful to say out loud. Olivia's behavior set me off, and you were not very socially capable. I was certainly happy when you two got together, of course. Even with the Atacon's passing, there was a bright moment. She sighed. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing? She continued, and then she sighed. You're allowed to have... Listen, I know a lot of people are terrified of this because they're fucking stupid. And they don't know. You can ignore this, right? You can have a person's conversation take up multiple paragraphs. You don't have to end quotes in the same paragraph. You can make a quote longer than one paragraph. Unlock the power within yourself. But that high moment didn't seem to last long. Atacon was dead, and I felt sad for his passing like everyone else. But I didn't know him as well as you or Olivia. And I could tell that it hit you both so very hard. But looking back, I should have tried to do or say anything. I didn't know either of you that well, but I could have tried. Said I was just happy to have more time to spend with Damien. A deep frown formed on her face. I want to say something, but between the feeling in my gut and my slow speed of communication, I'll let it sit. Oh boy. I like to think of myself who can see the big picture. I have everything planned out. Get the perfect job in art dealing, and I make just enough, and I make enough money to take care of me and Damien, and he can just do the things that make him happy. If he finds a stable career, so much the better, but as long as we can be happy, that's fine enough for me. She was struggling what she wanted to say, and I had an inkling of what it was. Somehow I didn't see that happening to you or Olivia at all. I was in my own happy little world about Damien. I wasn't gonna say you and Olivia weren't wrong, Inco. Oh wait, I got that completely wrong. And somehow I didn't see what was happening to you or Olivia at all. I was in my own little world around Damien. I'm not gonna say that you and Olivia weren't wrong, Inco. You could just make that a comma and go on. You don't need to put a period there. But I should have been able to see where things were going and make an attempt to help. Even if it wouldn't have done anything. I like that. That says a lot about her, that she's like, listen, even if it didn't do anything, I still owe it to myself and you to try. You don't get all the blame in this. Man, why is everyone so fucking emotionally mature? I mean, I guess they are almost adults as far as society is concerned. It echoed what I was told several times now. Why I'd failed, certainly. More thoroughly than anyone else. But also everyone else failed too. Liz planned ahead. Had the big picture sorted out early. In her own way, contributed to the train wreck we found ourselves in. God damn it. It too sensitive again. I wanted to correct her. Tell her that it wasn't a big deal. But that would denigrate her and her feelings. How it impacted Damien. The pains. And how it hurt Olivia. So I didn't. And I just nodded. Are you copying the roof scene with Fang? Doesn't work like that, buddy. Olivia was right, of course. The job I want would be perfect for helping her. But like I said back then, she had all the support and help and just wallowed away with her issues. I should have realized how much more serious those issues were. I treated her like a child throwing a tantrum and didn't pay attention to what she was actually going through. She turned to gaze back to me fully. You said you wanted to make it right. You wanted to make it all right, right? I nodded again. How? Expected question. I pulled out my phone and gave some of the abridged notations I ran over with Damien yesterday. Damien and I mostly repaired our relationship. It's not a probationary period which would be closed on good behavior. Liz seemed pleased about that. So, when he called me last night, he did seem in a better mood, and that must have been why. She said with a smile. Hold on. How strange. Liz seemed... Oh, wait. Remember to whack his noggin for not telling you about me, though? She laughed. Don't worry, I didn't forget. What? Oh, she won't forget. You bingus. Don't be such a bingus. Ugh. I continued to explain Vinny, Sophia Ferris, and Ben, and finally Olivia. As far as my considerations go, same as Damien. My breakdown of the fix everything plan was becoming truly a well-oiled machine now. It was a little sad onto itself, but working through all of this again and getting a generally positive response from Liz made me feel like it was really the right way to go. Why did this chapter start off with so much text about the shopping they were doing? When you have the actual meat and potatoes right here, buddy. You're allowed to cut that. If anything, that's what good writing is you kill that shit. You don't need it. It doesn't do anything. We know this already about him. Get to the part we're here for. Kiss Liz! I had an odd warming within me as I considered it. What it was, I couldn't place it. What it was or why it was. Something to think about more later. Liz spoke again, and considering the details, returned me to our conversation. Inco, as I said, I'm not really sure we were ever really friends. After what happened, the idea of becoming friends with you was just unpleasant. But I've done my own thinking, and you've done yours, clearly. Damien trusts you, and it sounds like Mr. Payne does as well. Whatever person you were before, you're clearly different now. I could feel my cheeks reddening slightly. You were always someone that spent a lot of time thinking. But I don't think you really, how should I say it, thought about the right things? Really thought about things? Spend a lot of time in your head. Sometimes get lost in your own little world mid-conversation. But it never really felt like you were considering what other people had to say when it was different from what you thought. I winced, but I couldn't disagree. She was pretty on point as far as I could recollect and consider myself back before. But you seem to be actually thinking things through now. It's not all that different from when I was working out my plans for the future. The first time I met, I asked you what you wanted out of St. Hammond's, what you wanted to do with your life, and you remember what you said back then? I cast my mind back. It felt like a lifetime ago. I think I said I didn't know. She nodded. You said something like, I don't know, but it's going to be big. I remember hearing you say that with a self-assured expression on your face. You know what I thought? I thought, oh, good, another one of these guys. No plan, no future. Her face felt again, stop being the Renpai engine. Oh yeah, that sounded like me. When you came around, I thought you were no different than the others. That you were self-centrist, pretentious nitwit who only cares about his image. Didn't Who was this? Oh, it's Olivia.
When you came around, I thought you were no different than others. I thought you were self-centered, pretentious midwit who only cares about his image. You didn't seem like the kind of person. Didn't seem like the kind of person who cared about how he got attention from others, just that he gets it.
I recalled Olivia's word after I found her in the rain, after she swapped my picture for her art in the contest. I remember at the time thinking it was reductive, maybe a little correct, but it wasn't really right. But looking back on how everything fell apart after Yadakam passed away, I didn't do anything that wasn't all me. I realized that Olivia was more right than either of us knew at the time. Liz clued in on it earlier than that. I see. I think your guy ended up being pretty spot on, I wrote. Back before, maybe. But looking at you now, I think you're on the right track. I don't know what your long-term plans are, but being able to make some good short-term decisions is part of a greater strategy, too. Damien said you were making an honest effort and that he'd have your back. I was skeptical at the time, but now... She gave me a long, slow look over, meeting the new Inco properly for the first time. A human male spending his time with his parents for the first time in forever. In an overly large, poofy coat. In a scarf that barely covers up his neck brace. Prescription sunglasses that fail to cover up the black eye given by his best friend. How long do black eyes stick around? Two to 3 weeks. Oof. Buddy. It's been like a week. He's got a little while to go. Who writes on his phone because of self-inflicted brain damage. Again, him having an actual notepad to write on, also to draw on and everything would be, I don't know, it's so much better. He could personalize it with stickers. I met her gaze throughout it. I wasn't sure she could see that through the sunglasses, but I held firm under her scrutiny. She finished her observation, taking in the barely held together mess of a person I was now, and nodded. I think he's right. You can count me in your corner, too, she concluded with a smile. A wave of relief washed over me. I started this conversation with hope it would go well, but I resolved to accept it if it didn't. That it actually did go well lifted another weight off of my shoulders. Ah! What a puff piece. Liz may or may not have realized that, but she did her part in this. Now it was time for me to finish mine. Now it was on me to finish mine. Thanks, Liz. I won't let you or anyone else down again. Not if I can help it. That's all we need, Inco. And if you need any help with your more long-term ambitions, feel free to ask. I've got plenty of experience, she said with a bubbly laugh. I gave her a smile and a nod. Liz was a good person. Maybe not perfect, but she had her... Oh, let's turn on a different soundtrack because things are more positive now. It's a bit too energetic, but fuck it, let's go for it. Liz was a good person. Not perfect. She had her own difficulties with communicating, and trying to walk a line of being pleasant and keeping things real. Sometimes she failed, but as I looked to my phone, it settled on me that we sort of had that in common. Even before the formal, I had my own communication problems. A lot of them, really. I was realizing that more than anything, sitting down and actually just talking can fix a lot of things. Certainly not everything. But sucking it up and talking through the hard parts makes everything else the easy parts. Made me realize that was the big problem I had with Olivia. Gotta make the cut there, because it makes sense. I stuffed that bit of concrete realization in the back pocket of my mind. If the opportunity arose, me and Olivia would have a real talk. A real talk. Whatever the result, it'd be better for both of us. For everyone. I slipped my phone into my pocket and gestured to Liz we could head out. We had 30-ish minutes before we'd meet back up with my parents, and I still needed to get something for them as well as Olivia. I had naturally cleared the doors of the shop before the rest of her, which I would continue to find amusing until the day I died. As I was walking towards the door and shut, wouldn't that, get stuck on her neck? As I walked towards the door, I shot a glance towards the tiny merchant, who gave me a curt but pleasant nod. I went to return in kind when my eyes reflexively scanned the contents of the glass enclosure that acted as the front counter. In it were more trinkets, but these looked more like one-offs, unlike the more mass-produced watches or jewelry in the rest of the store. My eyes landed on one of the more unique pieces, my chest constricted. Lying within the counter, laid gingerly on a glass suspending frame, was a singular feather quill pen. It wasn't quite the same shade as the one Yadakan had used. It was darker, but ultimately from a similar style. This was braced with silver and thin bands of gold. It took great effort not to let the tears overtake me. It was also as well that I couldn't really talk anymore because my throat constricted to the point that would have been impossible. I walked over to the counter and placed my hand on the glass, staring intently at the pen. The dinosaur followed my line of sight and realized what I was staring at. Would you like to see it? I nodded as intensely as my brace would allow. The shopkeeper gently lifted it out the back of the case and placed it on the counter, gestured for me to take a closer look. I almost didn't, but forced myself to lift the pen. It was so similar. We don't get these very often. Even when we do, they usually sit for a long time. This isn't the type of store that moves a crazy amount of product, but these sorts of things sit in cases for months at a time. He explained, watching me, taking in my reverence. Surprised to hear that. Expected the store to be low in traffic, but I pulled out my phone. Why sell them? Why stock them if there's a hard to sell? To the shopkeeper's credit, he didn't react to having to read my question. Because when they do sell, they're sold to people with reactions like yours. I laid the pen back onto the frame and wiped my eyes. Didn't make it through the conversation before they won out. The whole reason I started this shop is because I'm one of those people who's gonna tell you an emotional story that ties into the heart of your character arc, my friend. The whole reason I started this little store was to make people make their memories as permanent as possible. Memories are the best time. Life is hard, kid, and things like that, and the emotions you're feeling now. That's what makes life worth it. I couldn't help but laugh because he was right. About the pen on the spot. Oh, now we're fucking summarizing shit? Now we're not... What? You're so fucking verbose, and then you're like, nah, I just bought it and left. This guy just fucking floored. Jesus, such a whiplash after the rest of it. I'm not saying it's bad, like, this is the right move to make. What the hell? He just learned this, I guess. He told me it'd take an hour, but we'd be ready for pickup then. Oh, he also wanted something engraved on it. I agreed without issue and thanked him again. With parting waves, I left the store. To her credit, Liz was waiting patiently outside. Are you okay? I nodded. Because I really was. The rest of the shopping excursion went smoothly. This day was a bit longer and clearly enjoyed talking to my parents. I think they had a lot of the same crazy business drive she had, so there was a lot of common ground there. Eventually, though, she'd have to break off and complete the original reason she was at the mall in the first place. To get Uncle Mike a Christmas present. You didn't really seem the type to leave things like that to the last minute. Well, after I heard what he did to Damien, I may have thrown his original gift away, she said, clearly embarrassed. Couldn't help but snort a laugh, though. Inco! I could see the playful smirk on her snout. Whoops. You're good. I'm glad things are squared away with you two. I'm planning on talking to him next time I see him. If you get the chance, kid, let him know. She confirmed that she wouldn't, finally broke off, leaving just me and my parents. Finding everything you need then? I lifted my bags of giftable riches in my left hand and kept an intricately carved wooden box with the most important gift of the day in my right, tightly held to my chest. I noted. Inco, that says nodded. I nodded. We had dinner together again. I could really get used to this. It was a bit more conversational, though. Dad and Mom told me about the shopping they did together. How it had been a long time since they just had taken time to spend time together like that. Jesus! Don't use time that many times. Saturation setting, and I guess the work would keep them some distance apart, just like they would keep them from me, huh? Told Mom and Dad about my talk with Liz. How I happened to spot what I think would be the perfect gift for Olivia. Oh, that pen. That pen. It's beautiful. Did you get engraved on it? I shook my head at her. She gave me a playful, motherly pout, but let it go. The words are for the reader at the end of the story. That's why people do this. It's because it makes sense from a writer's perspective. Like, I know, but also fuck you. Come on. It doesn't matter, right? We already know that it's going to be something saccharine. And not that, Dinner concluded. Wow! That went fast. Mom and Dad offered to watch a movie with me, but I politely declined. I was clearly almost complete. Jesus! The writing is kind of stumbling in a weird way. I don't know what it is, but my sea legs are wearing out on my game now. I wasn't tired by the end of the day like I had been recently. Even accounting for all the walking in the mall, oddly enough. Maybe it was less about me being weakened and more about the cold. They settled in to watch a movie by themselves. Just before I crossed the threshold of the stairs and lost sight of the living room, I could see them cuddled together on the couch. Mom resting her head on Dad's shoulders, his head on top of hers. A good son should let them have some quality time, too. Besides, I wanted some private time to work on my craft. I changed into my pajamas, also known as PJs, also known as jammies, pulling out my phone and the stylus from it. I've been doodling recently since I got the new phone. We're gonna skip over this because I don't think... Inco's artistic skill, I get it, has like an element that ties him to Olivia, but it came about because of Olivia's fuck-up. So, I don't know, man. Metaphorically, it's a bit of a weird thing to give him as a character, especially since he took his notepad away. And he wanted to learn physical art. That's why he's covered in paint in that one scene. That's what I'm saying, Luigi. I love getting angry at irrelevant things. He thinks it's fun. Back at St. Hammond, I've been disappointed. Because photography is a bit... Like, most photography is done because people want pictures of their wedding, you know. You never really got art. I mean, you don't know anything about art waves or anything. Remember the drawing game? Oh yeah, we're recounting one of the actions that get you no points. The doodles didn't have to be good. They were just doodles. Share them with friends. I realized over the last few days that I didn't want to think about replacing my camera, to be honest. That's so weird, though. Actually, there is a question like how much Inco actually likes photography as a concept, when you really get down to it. Because, like, unless you see photography as an inherently bad art form, it's not that integral to the character. Like, yes, it comes up in Ending 1. But in Ending 4 and 2 and 3, it's not a defining thing. Like, it could be something else, and it'd be the same. And the thematic stylings and trappings of photography are also barely addressed outside of the bride and groom thing. Like, it's really superfluous to the character for how emphasized it is in Ending 1. But maybe I'm just stupid. I haven't played it in a while. Hence why a replay is necessary. All I could think of when I imagined buying a new camera. Oh no, yes, trauma. Poor traumatized little boy. I couldn't go back to that part of me. I'm scared. Wow. No, Inco, that's called a trauma. You're suffering actual fucking trauma, you idiot. That's not dumb. That's how... We're not getting into this, but this is not how you handle this stuff, my man. To do art... Because photography isn't art or something, I don't fucking know. There's a really odd mixed message going on here, and it gets a lot of emphasis. Oh man, it's Crim Cram. I need to go to the bathroom, and I think we can just bum rush the rest. It's not all that much. We'll keep it simple. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You know, in the bathroom. Actually, we can do this section and then go to the car. Yeah, we'll do that. Christmas Day. I woke up the same time I always did. My internal clock was working as well as always, given how erratic my schedule had been recently. I rolled out of bed and made my way downstairs to get something to eat. Smells good, I yawned. Bleary-eyed as I entered the kitchen. Oh, look who's awake. Merry Christmas, kiddo. Oh shit, that's right, they were actually home for Christmas this year! Merry Christmas, I returned. To their credit, there was a brief moment of taken abackness before their welcoming smiles greeted me. it was still weird for me. Honestly, I feel that if you want to be that kind of person, maybe, I don't know, you point out that Inco now has a disability and he reflects on how that affects him, but I don't know, the story's pretty loaded as is. I don't know if you could fit it in there. You need a bigger story, and this, I mean, it's already a novel. It's your fucking flowery-ass prose that gets in the way, man. And they were a bit behind yet. On top of they'll have you really see you in years energy. I mean, do your parents even know you can talk normally to begin with? Maybe they imagined all that, and you've always talked like it. But they just kept scoring points with me. Mom was a pretty Mom had a pretty modest but tasty-smelling breakfast of bacon and eggs prepared. Why are you using the post verb? The posthumous verb, which he began to dish up on a plate in front of me. Dad was scrolling on his throne and sipping a cup of coffee. It's like what I imagine a normal morning would be. And I got it for Christmas this year. Not bad. What the hell is that kind of statement? That is so weirdly judgmental in a funny way. All we had to do was get them to work less, and maybe this could be kind of normal. Mom and Dad small talked about the plan for today, which was to go over to the Payne's place in about an hour. Mom said Sophia had confirmed there'd be food, but Mom felt like she had a momly duty to feed us something on an important day, which worked out fine for me. What momly duty? I mean, is she overcompensating? Because I like that idea, considering what's actually going on. You know, like, the thing that I keep hamming on about, right, is I really like the idea of people who realize that something is wrong, but they overcompensate, and they don't know why that's bad, you know? Like, it doesn't consider and analyze the deeper implications of people going the whole hog. You know what I mean? I did see someone who had a comment and wait. I finished up my routine and we had about 30 minutes before we had to head out. Without much ado, I opted to open the messaging app and send a Christmas greeting to our friend group. I did see no one had commented in it for quite some time now, but that was with the icebreaker. It's been a week. I have groups where we just don't talk all week until the thing comes around. Used my stylus as best as I could and sketched out a shape vaguely like Damien in Santa Clothes and a sleigh, throwing gifts to Olivia, Vinny, and Liz. Naturally, Liz was still a stick figure. The rest of the art wasn't great or even particularly good, but I felt you could at least tell who was who in it, and that's the most important part now. I appended the message to the chat and fired it off. What does that even mean? You appended the message to this chat, and then you send it? That's not how that works, my man. Liz and Damien responded at almost the same time, no comma, or period, just quotes. How cute. Yo! Glad they liked it. As expected, however, Olivia didn't respond. Is it a friend group? Didn't Liz just talk about that? Anyway, like I said, we're going to take a quick break, so I can go to the bathroom, and then we can talk about the rest. And I do have some things to say that are starting to pick up over time. And yes, I make some of these mistakes too, but let's find a different soundtrack when I get back to it. Oh, spice it up a little. Whoops. That one is sticking around forever, by the way. That is the pinnacle of hot dog shit writing, and it's sticking around, buddy. A permanent reminder. There we go. Let's pick ourselves a new soundtrack. And start off with the last part that matters. It's Crim Cram! Which means we should pick a song that reflects the Crim Cram spirit. She sleeps, hospital drones. Such a short scene, but so powerful. I like this one a bit more. It feels a bit more orchestrically dramatic. I think the white noise really is a part of that, though. Hold on, let me get rid of this text. Worthless words. Fucking Undertale-ass piano. Which one of these is gonna work? Jingle bells, but awesome? This feels a bit much. Let's go with the no? Yeah, this is the one that I remember the most of all of them. I will just go with Stego Stars tonight. I like the jamminess, okay? We got into the car, made our way to the Pains. It actually been all week since I'd last been there, but it legitimately felt nostalgic. Like I haven't really been to that place in ages. Maybe it'd be some time since I'd really truly been there, and not just present at that location. Vocaldera Bluffs doesn't really get... It did! I was so mad about this, that they were insistent on a White Christmas when, like, Anon shows up in January and it's not. And, like, no one seems to really comment on it. Vocaldera Bluffs doesn't really get snow, but this year clearly proved to be a freak occurrence. It had been snowing most of yesterday, yeah, but it snowed before... I don't know anymore. It was snowy on prom night, and I think most throughout tonight. It's a White Christmas... Listen, alright, I'm just extremely sassy on these things. The ground had a thick, fluffy blanket of white. Going through most of the neighborhood, the snow combined with the various decoration tiles made it look like... really locked in the sensation that it was Christmas time. It was absolutely charming. We stepped out of the car and into the clear driveway. Randy must have gotten up early to clear it out for us. I make a note to thank him for that little bit of kindness later. Dad and I carry the boxes and bags as Mom gets to the door and thumbs the door. Fucking... Who uses their thumb? Use your pointer. That's the appropriate tool for the job. Interestingly, Sophia's the one that answered.
Oh, hello. You must be Mr. and Mrs. Nito. I heard a lot about you from Randy,
she said, exuding that stressed but happy mom energy. Mom titters back with her own motherly greeting while me and Dad are left awkwardly standing out in the cold. He shot me a look that said, Mom, small talk, right? And I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. Shortly after we were ushered inside, Sophia was directing us to Sophia was directing us to place our presentee parcels by their tree. After laying everything out into a surprisingly large pile of stuff, I reflexively stole a glance at Sophia's room. Door closed. My eyes flitted around the living room itself, and no Olivia. Damn, it wasn't surprising. It's only been a week since everything, but still, one had hope. That said, the Payne's house is absolutely decked out for the holidays. Wreaths, lights, tinsel, even ceramic houses and buildings, and some sort of mock display of a town with little people. Mostly dinos, of course, doing winterly activities. Just, what is it called again? Put the nativity scene on there, man. Just have the guts for it. They have a cross in their house. They have a nativity scene. It was adorable. Of course, that paled in comparison to the tree. It reached just under the ceiling, and by smell I could tell it was a real tree. Various string lights and ornamental baubles hunt on its branches. Hunt? They're baubles. They are hunted. They're berries. They are berries because it's a fertility tree! Some were regular spherical sort. Others more meaningful, sentimental, and value. Oh, I know those ones. This place just screamed traditional Christmas. I took some mental notes down for ideas for next year. There was a chance Mom and Dad would want to commit to this whole being present for or something, and if so, maybe we could host next year's Christmas at our place. If we're going to do that, we do it right. Damien finally knocked me out of my thoughts, literally with a slap on the shoulder. Inky dude! We're spacing out again. He's having this trademark wide smile on his face. I love how long these songs are. Jingle bells, but awesome. I hate how this sounds in my ears. There's something missing. I gave him a smile and a shrug as a my bad response, but he wasn't bothered at all. They should be here in a bit. They're doing their own Christmas junk at the moment, so she'll be by later. I nodded, thinking back to my own gift I got her. Hopefully she'd like it. Everyone settled into the furniture. Randy had pulled Sophia onto his lap and on his recliner, while Damien and Vinny were practically vibrating on the floor in front of me. You know, I just realized that whole feather thing, it would actually be kind of cool if the author just never specifies. We do not know. We are not allowed to know as readers. It's just for Olivia, and he has no reason to repeat it for us. Especially since E1 implies that Inco is somewhat aware that his thoughts are, like, meaningful to something, because he does kind of hint that he thinks his thoughts are for posthumous sake. Even in an autobiographical sense. You know, he comments on not having any insightful thoughts. Anyway, everyone settled into the furniture. Randy had pulled Sophia onto his lap on his recliner, while Damien and Vinny were practically vibrating on the floor in front of me. Mom and Dad sat with me on the couch proper, myself seated at the far end. A bit of small talk. Randy happened to meet my gaze, and he fired off a warm smile. So far, Christmas was going well. I'd find time to issue my apologies to Vinny and Sophia, but for now, this was good. But I couldn't help myself. I jerked my head towards Olivia's door and scrunched my eyebrows, as if to say, joining? His smile faltered, of course, and he gave me a sad shake of his head. We both expected it, but still. Mom and Dad thankfully were none the wiser of the context. Everyone else was too keen not to dredge up that sore spot for today. God, I love how crap that is. There's a dino on the dance floor. Even Vinny seemed in good spirits, so there was a solid chance that was because he'd already inhaled a ton of Christmas candy and couldn't form coherent thoughts anymore. And the way he was vibrating on the floor in excitement next to Damien, I could swear I could see him phasing out of reality. After a little longer of small talk, Sophia finally clapped her hands and announced that we may as well get on with the show. Predictably, Vinny launched off the ground. I didn't see his legs move either. So either was his own till strength or the power of sugary treats that allowed him to cancel gravity like that. Note to self, if we do street hockey, Vinny doesn't get sugar beforehand, he'd probably accidentally kill me. We doled out the various gifts and opened them in kind. Vinny adored the nerve-setting attachment, and Damien nearly matching his excitement. Randy bellowed out a laugh while Sophia shook her head, dreading the mess that would follow. Damien was more than happy with the games the thieves had selected. He picked them himself after all. Dude, this should keep him busy for a week. Maybe two. How many games does this guy... Why do you think he's so bad at math? And he needs help. We'll have to play some of these together later, man. Don't you worry, I'll go easy on you. Damien said it, his eyebrows wagging in excitement at the chance to absolutely demolish me.
Yeah, we'll go easy,
Vinny echoed, though his cackle was even less subtle about his true intentions. Yeah, I jotted down my responses, resigning myself to my fate. Vinny stared at the phone and the message a little longer than normal, but he was still getting used to it. I think Randy and or Sophia had told him, so he wasn't completely surprised by it. Oh, yeah, Vinny doesn't quite know about that.
Why are you just writing things out? That's stupid.
he said, shaking his hand quizzically.
Vinny? What? If he just used text-to-speech like they always do online, it'd be easier.
He said to his own defense. Wait, what? Vinny, what do you mean?
You can just have it say what you write. People do it all the time on Juice instead of using their real voice. How old are you, Inky?
First, rude. Second, wow. Why not use a colon again? Wow, I am an idiot. I never considered text-to-speech. What alleviated the embarrassment ever so slightly was Damien echoing my sentiment. Yeah, it didn't occur to me either. Smart thinking, Finn, Damien said, drawing his little brother into a hug headlock. As more gifts were opened, I started searching for a good TTS option. Man, there were a lot, and I had no idea which ones would be good. I pocketed the idea for now, something for later when we were doing family stuff. Aren't you trying to do speech therapy? Like, hold off, buddy. Don't invest too much in Brandon? I think Brandon's one of them, right? But seriously, big win for Finn today. Randy enjoyed the seasonings I got him. It was one of those TTS channels that reads Reddit threads, and he's like, "That's my real voice, you jerks!" He said I was already giving him ideas for the cookout next year, and that me and my parents would have to attend. Naturally, we agreed. Do I have any option for, like... I need to check out if there's a text-to-speech built into Firefox or something. Otherwise, I'd have to do it myself. I'm fine with that. Randy and Sophia loved the books as well. Well, Dad knocked it out of the park with Randy's book, but unfortunately it was the only one of three that provided Sophia a duplicate volume of the books. Even so, Sophia was fused with her thanks. Mom and Dad and myself exchanged our gifts, nothing particularly special. We were too unfamiliar with each other to land anything meaningful. To our credits, no one chickened out and just went with gift cards. Gift cards! We'd worked through pretty much everything by now. Mom and Dad got a little Christmas memorabilia from Randy and Sophia. Little ceramic houses like the ones on their mantle. I think they figured that since my parents were into architecture, something building related may land well. Fortunately, it did. Randy got me a new sweatshirt. Blue, similar to my old jacket. Sophia gave me some hand-knit gloves. They looked insanely warm. I mean, dinosaur made, buddy. Dinosaur made. Hold on. They looked insanely warm. The gift from Damien and Vinny was apparently a joint agreement effort, and that they picked one of the old console games and gave it to me. Maybe with some practice you'll put up an actual challenge, Damien joked, playfully punching me in the arm. Vinny echoed the sentiment and also punched me in the arm. Thankfully, this one was acid-free. It was a lot more than I deserved this year. I probably didn't even actually deserve cold, let alone all this, but I was undeniably happy. Damien and Vinny had managed to convince me to go out front to make snow dinos with them. The goal was still rough on me, but I was happy to oblige. Also gave me a chance to put on the gloves that Sophia had made to use. Here's a coupon for the $1 menu at McDino's. Don't spend it all at once. Oh, that is the worst possible gift. Oh, I need like a year to recover from that one. Fuck. Took me a while to really get the snoots of snow dinos to work. With a clever application of my ear itches, sorry. With the clever application of packed snow and sticks for support, we managed to figure it out. Soon enough, there was a snow Damien, a snow Vinny, and a snow myself. Damien was busy trying to figure out the logistics of a snow Liz, but the night continued to be an insurmountable challenge. As I looked at the spread of the snow family, I felt like there needed to be one more, regardless of the status of us. Olivia deserved to be represented alongside Damien and Vinny, too. Okay, I want to point this out because I just want to tell you, person who made this, no, I don't think you are allowed to do this. Because I'm pretty sure Vinny makes the snow Olivia that is in the game. I think. I might be wrong, so don't take my word on that. Probably Damien House. Damien House Christmas. So for Damien House Christmas, they have all of them, right? They have Inco, they have Olivia, and she has like grass on her head, and they have Damien and the dad and everything, and that's cute. I'm pretty sure it was Vinny that put him on her on the ground, but whatever. I made quick work of the Snow Olivia, settling to avoid the chair and just having it laying on its stomach on the ground. Again, copying stuff wholesale from the game is a bit eh. With it concluded, I looked to Damien to find that he also had resolved to have Snow Liz laying down. The next snaked out into the rest of the yacht, twisting. How do you have snow for that? They got a good laugh out of me and Vinny, but Damien insisted it was accurate. I imagine that Damien knows exactly how long that neck is for no good reason other than that he had a measuring tape once and just went for it. We returned indoors before the three of us froze completely. Randy passed out mugs of his homemade hot cocoa, and we settled back in for small talk and gentle Christmassy vibes. Everyone was busy talking, or in Vinny's case, crackling out one of the gifts with a retro console. Cracking out one of the gifts with a retro console and firing it up. It made me remember my shopping trip with Olivia again. Well, she had been happy for that cheap retro purchase, and I denigrated it in my head. Seeing Damien and Vinny swoop in and holler as they tried to work their way through the crushingly difficult legacy games kind of made me realize why Olivia wanted it in the first place. There's a space here that shouldn't be there. While everyone was distracted by the show, my ears turned to an imperceptibly soft click to my... Jesus, Anon's special telescopic ears are back again! I mean, admittedly, Inco would, because he's, like, hyper-fixated on her, so he's probably, like, actively listening and just not telling us. My head slowly turned, and I found myself looking at a singular eye peering at me from the cracked door to Olivia's room. The column of light illuminated a silver and yellow eye. And that eye was staring directly at me. My breathing ceased. I hadn't seen her since the formal. My last memory of her was the look of abject horror and confusion as we tumbled down the stairs. I couldn't see enough of her to read her expression, but her eyes were locked for what felt like hours. She watched me for that heartbeat of time, unblinking. If her expression had changed, if her expression would change, I couldn't see it. After a moment longer, the door quietly clicked back shut. I let out the breath I was holding and sank into the couch. Inco, is something wrong? I noted down a nothing to her. That's a quote. Quotation marks, my man. I mean, I do it myself like that too because I'm a sassy boy, but hey. Things settled back to how they were before. I looked at Randy and Sophia, both of them had met my gaze. They caught at least part of that silent engagement, though they didn't have any better idea of what it meant either. Liz arrived a little while later, and as I hoped, she adored my book choice. She had other books like it, but thankfully I managed to have a lucky break and pick one she didn't. She handed out her own gifts, and they were received by the Paynes with appropriate gratitude. Well, I asked her how things went with her uncle, and she informed me that they talked through at least part of it properly this time. He did love her backup gift, so that was good to hear. I hate for things to stay tense with them. She also informed me that she had passed along my wishes to meet up when able, and apparently the best time for that would be when we returned to school for the new year. I thanked her for acting as my personal manager on the matter, to let her wander off to make herself comfortable at Damien's side. I also took the opportunity to wander to the kitchen, and at my request, my parents gave me some space so I could actually talk to Sophia. The good news is that it went well. Sophia doesn't get a scene. Fuck her. I laid out my thinkings over the last week, my failures and my resolution to do things better and make them right. She accepted it graciously. I mean, she knew it was coming. Randy and Damien certainly kept her well advised on me matters, but she deserved and appreciated being told directly by me. As a gift, once in a lifetime deal, a European trip straight to Braheville. It is extremely cheap to almost free, and right on time for a local festival. You know, I could use a good moonburn. A little moon scorched around the cheeks, one might say. I might be game. Is this like going to Silent Hill, though? It's like, you don't tempt fate? Because I don't know, man. All I'm saying is that it's a little weird that you find the corpse of Jesus and you use a special spell and then his penis gets, you know. I don't know what the hell that was about, but I think it's hilarious in a weird way. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like, fuck. It's so fucking good. She also took the time to apologize for her own behavior. Letting the stress of everything hit a breaking point, putting the work of helping Olivia all on me. It was a talk I'd already had with Randy, but Again, she felt I deserved to hear it from her. It was appreciated. I let the adults get back to the small talk and took a seat next to Vinny as he wailed away on the retro controller. Damien and Liz retreated off to a corner house to give him a bit of space. Again, got a weird odd spacing there. Hey, Vinny.
Inky, you should use the text-to-speech stuff.
He said when he finally noticed my message. I'm an old doo-doo fart. I have to figure it out later. He laughed at it and caught himself.
Mom said I shouldn't call people that.
Probably not, but I think I deserved it. Huh? I know Olivia yelled at you and hurt your feelings. That was wrong of her to do. He's a fucking child. He doesn't know what the hell you're talking about, buddy. Like, his life is too short for him to care that much. The trauma comes later. You were just being a good little brother, but she's been unwell, and I didn't do as much as I could to help her. Or you, or Damien. Or your parents. He didn't really get it, but when he looked to his parents, he gave a gentle nod.
Okay, Inky. I just want Olivia to be happy again. Damien and Mom and Dad are happier, but she's still sad.
I know. I wanted to be happy, too. When nothing else said, the return focused the game. Man, there's a little more here than I thought there would be. Whoops!
Ain't that just the me mistake?
As things began to wind down and my parents were getting ready to leave, I wandered my way over to Olivia's door. I don't know what to say, but I've been thinking about it since yesterday. And ultimately, I just drew up a blank. Part of my problem was being an idiot about what I said, but my newfound condition was proving as much as a help as a hindrance in keeping my impulsive stupidity in check. I've been learning that if, after some thought, I couldn't think of something to say, that I shouldn't be saying anything. That implies that your instincts are very sharp, and your conscious effort is terrible, which is not the lesson you should be learning. Like he says after some thought, but some thought is a bit short. More important than that, it's like Liz said. You actually need to listen and think more. Yeah, but you just said... I sat down and I rested against the wall by the door to her room. I looked at the wrapped-up gift in my hand. I think I did a pretty good job in wrapping it. Hopefully she likes it. And the gift inside. I really felt it had meaning. For the both of us. The Paynes had their own gifts for Olivia, and I think they were willing to just let Olivia follow her pattern from the last week. She'd come out at some point tonight, see her gifts under the trees and take them. But I couldn't settle for that for her. Not with my gift. Not this one. I laid the gift down in front of her door and gently rapped my knuckles on its west. I don't know why, I just can't say rapping on a door and take it seriously. I just can't. Because I immediately go to the fucking Knuckles song, you know. I'm Knuckles, and I don't chuckle. I looked to see the four adults pause, waiting to see how things would go. I don't know if Randy or Sophia told Mom and Dad anything about Olivia. They probably did. The looks on their faces told me they realized this was important and nothing else. They were giving me time. I sat by the door for several minutes before I could hear a quiet shuffling in her room. Another pause, and then a quiet click. I could hear the door open quietly, then cease. I looked at the floor where my gift was, and after another moment, Olivia's hand had silently reached out, grasped, go with grasped, and disappeared into the room. The door closed with another click. I sat there for another few moments, but after hearing nothing else, I sighed. It's probably the best I was going to get today. I lifted myself off the ground and joined my parents at the door. We said our goodbyes and headed home. Other than that slightly somber conclusion, spirits were high. Mom and Dad loved the Paynes, and I saw no indication, original meeting with Randy aside, that the Paynes had any issues with my parents, for the moment. It was entirely dependent on if Mom and Dad could keep up the whole being here thing, if it would shake out in the future. We went home, had a nice dinner Mom had prepared for us, and I retreated to my room. Hopefully, Olivia liked the gift. It wasn't intended to repair anything or fix our relationship. Whatever that happened or not was for later. What was important right now was to get Olivia feeling like Olivia again. Like she did when we started dating. Or even before then. She was brighter, tons of motivation. She loved to draw and paint. But as things fell apart, and I kept failing her, that love of creating started dying. By the time of the formal, it was looking like she was going to abandon art entirely. So for now, step one in my siege of Fort Olivia was getting that fire back in her. Normally I have reverence for stuff like this, but set the castle on fire with fire arrows. Don't call the siege if you don't want me saying stuff like that. I thought back to my gift. It was a little cheesy. Absolutely sentimental. But it had meaning. It was intended to remind her of Ayada-kan, her biggest fan and her biggest supporter. The one who pushed her and always believed in her, even when she didn't believe in herself. That quill pen I got her was an intentional, almost like international, mirroring of the one Ayada-kan always had. It was from his wife, and it was his own eternal memory of why he did what he did. A concrete representation of his ideals and his motivation in life. If I was lucky, my gift could hold a fraction of that power. Would hold. I thought back to what I had told the shopkeep I wanted engraved upon it. He'd give me a slight tweak of the eyebrow, as if it was certainly not one of the normal things people engraved on that kind of thing. But he had been in the business long enough to know that it was one of those weirder phrases. The more unique and personal ones, the matter. Again, that's not a period, that's a comma. It's a long sentence, okay? But it's a long sentence for a reason. Come on. If you could leave right now and do anything you wanted, what would you want to do? Some of the last words he said to the two of us before he died. An echoing of a question he had asked us sometime in the past. She had said,
I want to go see a fountain and paint it for you.
That moment, I couldn't care less if Olivia never wanted to see me again. I wanted her to go see that fountain and paint it. My phone pinged, pulling me out of my thoughts, and I had a new message. I tabbed over to the messaging app and jumped to see it was a reply from Olivia. First I had gotten in a long... It's been a week! Thank you.
Thank you.
Literally, it's been a fucking week, man. Come on. I know that emotionally it's been a long time, but come on! That being said, I personally would have gone with it takes a little while. Like, he gets this the next day. I think it's a little too soon to just drop this the same day. Anyway, that's it for today. We're going to keep it very simple. Are we doing chapter 5 tomorrow? I don't know, but I know that I'm a little bit just annoyed and done Dunyan rings. I'm extremely Dunyan rings, and I want some of my... listen, there are a couple of big things that I need to do right now, okay? I need to replay those games and get that out of my fucking way. And for that, there better not be an asshole this weekend who thinks they're entitled to my fucking time again. I might stream, that's outside of that. But fuck if that didn't come out of nowhere. And fuck if it didn't take a lot of time and energy. And fuck if it didn't come right after a week where I did not need my weekend taken up like that. Oh. Oh. Some people might say, learn to say no. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. By the time the question's asked, the damage already done. That's how I work, and that's the problem. Whoa. Anyway, next time we're going to do a bit of a time jump, which we should have done way earlier, but it looks to be a nice meaty chapter. Who is he talking to? Oh, he's probably talking to, oh, there's Ben. There might also be Scalar, because he wanted to talk to Scalar. Next time might be a bit more confrontational, and I really think that if you're going to write fluff, you have to have a moment where it gets dippy if you're going to be dramatic. And this is dramatic. It needs a little friction, because everything's going a little too buttery smooth. Even if it's just a little bit of backpedaling from Ben. It's just something, you know? Just someone who says no. Anyway, see you guys later. Thank you for coming. Blah, 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 blah. I really don't need bad ideas that taint things. But I need to play the fucking games, okay? I just need to play the fucking games. But I don't have time. I am so busy. Everything coming at me. And there are no results. It's just busyness. Ben gets suplexed by Inco after a flashback montage. Hell yeah. I would not mind. I just want someone to get angry and yell. Just a different response instead of this perfect understanding. It's fine from these guys, okay? I get it. The Paynes are nice and they're perfectly good people, which is probably why we skipped over Sophia and Vinny. But we better not do that with Ferris and Ben. I imagine I can't see Ferris being too harsh, but I think he should have something to say that's a bit more, But Ben should not be easy. Anyway, I gotta say I like where this is going. Another big problem. Another thing that's worth pointing out that I'm kind of upset about is that I used to have like a pretty sizable backlog of footage for because I have this and then I have the other one, and the other one has been going on a daily basis, and it's not the big thing I'm fighting for. I'm not fighting for the daily upload. It's just that backlog's dried up and I don't know what to do next, and well, like I said, I would like to thank you all for coming. I'll see you guys tomorrow maybe, or another time next week. Whichever one it ends up being. I need you to remember that there's an important story that we all like to forget about that defines us as people. And that's that Coolville fucking sucks! Hey!